Picture this. You're walking down a busy street in Tel Aviv. You hear Hebrew, English, Russian, French. Nothing surprising. But then a young Israeli says, "Tara, kain tayo." Let's go eat. You pause. Are you in Tel Aviv or Manila? This isn't a fluke. It's a trend. Israelis are learning Filipino. Tagalog was once just background noise. The language of caregivers. Now, it's the cool new thing. It's a cultural plot twist. Israelis learning the language of the immigrant community. It's a beautiful, slightly awkward, and totally unexpected dance. Get your popcorn ready. This story is a good one. Imagine walking into a classroom in Tel Aviv, and instead of Hebrew or English, you hear Tagalog echoing off the walls. What would drive someone to learn a language so far from home? And what happens when two cultures meet, not just in words, but in laughter, mistakes, and shared stories? Let's step inside these makeshift classrooms, where every lesson is a leap of faith, and every word learned is a bridge built. It's a Tuesday afternoon. The hum of espresso machines drifts through the open window as Maya, a university student, nervously introduces herself. Ako si Maya. Have you ever felt your heart race before saying something new in a foreign tongue? Her classmates clap, and her teacher, Ate Lisa, who spends her days caring for an elderly couple nearby, beams with pride. In that moment, Maya's courage becomes contagious. Maya stumbles, giggles, and tries again. Her accent is thick, but her determination is unmistakable. Can you remember a time when you pushed through embarrassment just to connect? In another corner, Amir, a retired engineer, brings in a tray of homemade cookies, his way of saying, "Let's make this journey together." He shares them with the class, learning the Tagalog word for delicious, masarap, but bursts out laughing when he accidentally says, "masakit," which means painful. Have you ever made a mistake that turned into a memory you'd never trade? The group erupts in laughter, the mistake instantly becoming a cherished inside joke, proof that vulnerability can spark connection. Sometimes lessons drift into stories. Ate Liza shares a childhood memory from Manila, her voice soft, her eyes distant. The students listen, rapt, as she describes mango trees and jeepneys, her words painting pictures more vivid than any textbook. What stories from your childhood would you share to help someone understand your world? Someone asks how to say homesick in Tagalog. The answer, nangangarap, means dreaming, longing for something far away. Isn't it beautiful how language can capture feelings we all share? The room grows quiet. Everyone understands the feeling, even if the word is new. During break, they swap snacks. Babka meets bibingka, rugalak beside suman. Food becomes another kind of language. Each bite a story, each flavor a memory. Have you ever tasted something that instantly reminded you of home, or made you feel at home, even far away? They practice phrases for the market, for visiting a friend, for saying thank you. Salamat po. The po, a mark of respect, feels awkward at first but soon becomes second nature, tiny gestures of honor woven into everyday speech. There are moments of struggle too. Hebrew tongues trip over Tagalog syllables. Some give up, frustrated. What keeps you going when something feels impossible? But most return, drawn by the warmth of shared effort and the gentle encouragement of their teacher. The real lesson isn't just in the words, but in the willingness to try again. They celebrate small victories, the first time someone orders halo halo in perfect Tagalog, or the day a student cracks a Filipino joke that everyone understands. Isn't it these little wins that make the journey worthwhile? These are not just language lessons. They are lessons in patience, humility, and the quiet joy of connection. In every mistake, a new friendship grows. In every shared story, a piece of home is found, no matter which side of the world you started from. What if learning a new language could help you find a new family? From these moments of discovery, a new kind of community begins to form. One built not just on words, but on laughter, kindness, and the courage to reach across the unknown. So, what would you discover if you dared to learn a language that's not your own? Pause twos. Now, let's wind back, before the street chatter, before the viral videos, to where this language journey quietly began. Picture a tiny, sunlit classroom tucked behind a bustling Tel Aviv cafe. A mismatched group of Israelis, university students, retirees, even a chef still in his apron, sit in a circle, textbooks open, laughter bubbling as they stumble over Tagalog greetings. The teacher, a Filipino caregiver on her day off, writes, "Kamusta?" on a whiteboard, her voice warm and encouraging. Cut to a living room at dusk. A teenage girl sits cross-legged on the floor, headphones on, mouthing Tagalog lyrics from a pop song, her phone screen glowing with karaoke colors. Her grandmother watches from the couch, bemused as the girl records herself for TikTok, determined to master every word. Shift to a city bus, overlapping images of commuters practicing Tagalog phrases under their breath, phone screens flickering with language apps. A young man grins as a Filipino co-worker quizzes him on tongue twisters, the two erupting in laughter when he gets it hilariously wrong. End with a slow pan over a shelf of borrowed library books, Tagalog dictionaries, children's storybooks, even a well-worn copy of Noli Me Tangere, testament to curiosity and quiet determination. These are the unlikely classrooms of Tel Aviv. Not just schools, but kitchens, buses, parks, anywhere curiosity meets kindness. Here, every mispronounced word is a bridge, every shared laugh a step closer. And from these small, gentle beginnings, something extraordinary starts to grow. Pause twos. Step into a sunlit apartment in Tel Aviv. The camera glides past a family photo on the wall, lingering on a faded snapshot of an elderly woman and her Filipino caregiver, both mid-laughter. In the kitchen, the kettle whistles. A caregiver quietly hums a familiar Filipino lullaby while she prepares tea, her voice mingling with the distant sounds of Hebrew cartoons playing in the living room. Cut to a hallway. On one side, Hebrew chatter floats from the family's dinner table. On the other, the gentle cadence of Filipino, a phone call home, muffled giggles, a whispered prayer. The scenes shift. A birthday cake with 2 sets of candles, one for the family's child, one for the caregiver's child, thousands of miles away, celebrated over a video call. Transition to a park bench at dusk. The caregiver sits beside her employer, watching children play. They share a smile, but their words are few. A simple question about the weather, a nod of gratitude. The real conversations, the ones about longing, about dreams, about homesickness, remain unspoken, carried away on the evening breeze. Each moment is intimate, yet marked by invisible boundaries. 2 lives, intertwined by circumstance, but separated by language. This is the quiet poetry of a shared home, where connection and distance exist side by side, every day. To understand this shift, you need the backstory. For decades, Filipinos have been the backbone of Israel's elder care industry. They're everywhere. Parks, homes, kitchens, part of the family, but separated by a language wall. Conversations were basic. Is she okay? Did she eat? Thank you. The real human stories happened in Filipino, out of reach for most Israelis. It created a strange intimacy, living together, but worlds apart. Caregivers knew everything about the families they worked for, but the families knew little about them. The language barrier kept deeper connections locked away. For years, this was normal. 2 communities side by side, but in separate linguistic worlds. Filipinos learned Hebrew to do their jobs. Israelis learned maybe salamat, thank you. No one thought to change it. It was just the way things were. Until a TV show held up a mirror to the entire nation. Suddenly, Everyone started to see what they'd been missing, and everything began to change. The spark? A TV drama called The Girl from Manila. It wasn't a blockbuster, just a heartfelt story about a young Israeli man and his father's Filipino caregiver. But it hit a nerve. The show spotlighted the caregiver's life, her struggles, her calls home, her friendships. For the first time, Israelis saw the full, human story of the people in their homes. The show was a smash hit. Filipino dialogue with Hebrew subtitles brought the language and the emotions front and center. Israelis connected words to feelings. Anak, miss na kita. My child, I miss you so much. It was a collective aha moment. Suddenly, people realized, the person caring for my grandmother has a whole world I've never accessed. The show humanized the Filipino community and made Israelis curious. Memes and clips went viral. Young people started learning key phrases. Mahal kita, I love you. Ingat, take care. It became a badge of cultural awareness. Learning Filipino was suddenly cool, a social signal that you understood and cared, all powered by a Netflix subscription. And it didn't stop there. Armed with phrases from The Girl from Manila, Israelis started trying. The first attempts, hilariously awkward. Imagine a young Israeli soldier greeting caregivers in a park. Magandang umaga, kamusta po kayo? The caregivers would stare, then burst into joyful laughter. Noam, a teenager, told his grandmother's caregiver, "Masarap ang luto mo. Your cooking is delicious." She was stunned, then moved to tears. The simple act of learning a few phrases turned the invisible into the visible. After years of being overlooked, Filipino caregivers finally felt seen. And it was just the beginning. The trend didn't stay at home, it spread to the workplace. Israel's tech sector relies on Filipino workers for cleaning and maintenance. For years, interactions were minimal. A nod, maybe a shalom. The TV show changed everything. Now, software engineers practiced Filipino with the cleaning staff. Ate, kamusta ka? Sister, how are you? Became common in office hallways. This small shift broke down social barriers. Cleaning staff became Ate Marisa or Kuya Jun, with names and stories. Offices felt warmer, more unified. Holiday parties merged. Karaoke with Filipino songs became a hit. Communication improved, but more importantly, relationships transformed. It went from transactional to personal, based on respect and shared humanity. A little language went a long way. The deepest impact was within families, especially between the elderly and their caregivers. For many older Israelis, their Filipino caregiver is their closest companion. The relationship was close, but the language barrier kept it from becoming true friendship. Inspired by the show, grandchildren taught their grandparents simple Filipino phrases. Suddenly, an elderly woman could ask her caregiver about her children by name. Families celebrated birthdays with maligayang bati, happy birthday in Filipino. The caregiver became part of the family, not just an employee. Viral videos showed elderly Israelis expressing love in broken Filipino. It was about more than language. It was about recognizing a deep human bond. Years of shared vulnerability finally had a voice. Love found a new language. Of course, not everyone was on board. Some saw it as a fleeting fad, a TV-fueled trend that would fade. Critics argued that real change needs more than a few phrases. It needs better laws and protections for workers. Learning salamat doesn't fix systemic issues. Some conservatives worried about diluting Hebrew culture. Why should Israelis learn the language of guest workers? One politician complained. The trend challenged the old idea that only immigrants should adapt. Even some Filipinos felt mixed. happy for the recognition, but wondering why it took a TV show to be seen as people. Commercialization followed. Language courses, t-shirts with Filipino phrases. Some feared the movement would become a shallow commodity. The debate was on real change or just the latest cool thing. But even with doubts, something had shifted. The conversation was happening, and that mattered. So, is this just a fad or something more? It's more. This isn't just about Israelis learning Filipino, it's about a shift in perspective. For years, relationships were defined by function, employer and employee. The language barrier reinforced that. By learning Filipino, Israelis said, I want to move beyond function. I want a real relationship. Popular culture did what policies couldn't. It built empathy, fast. A single story on Netflix changed hearts more than years of official speeches. This is a new kind of lingua franca, not for business, but for the heart. The goal isn't fluency, it's connection. Even broken words say, I see you, I value you. It's a role reversal, the host community reaching out to the newcomers. It didn't solve every problem, but it created thousands of moments of respect and friendship. Sometimes real change starts with a simple kamusta. It's a lesson for the world. Empathy is a universal language, but learning someone's words is the ultimate act of respect. The story isn't over, it's just begun. And it all started with a TV show. What's the legacy of this linguistic love affair? The fad may fade, but something permanent remains. The wall of invisibility around the Filipino community has cracked. Now, it seems strange to live alongside people for years and never learn a word of their language. This could be a blueprint for other communities. Language as a tool for building bridges, not just for travel or business. Imagine if more people learned their neighbors' languages, not because they had to, but because they wanted to. A generation of Israelis will now see multilingualism as a bridge, not a burden. The Filipino language is now linked with friendship, family, and a hit TV show. The future of Israel, and maybe the world, might just be a little more multilingual and a little bit Filipino. And that's a future worth binge watching.